Shit. Man. Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Impact or Hit. I, Joey Styles, Jonathan Coachman, and Ada English here. And today on Impact or Hit, we're going to have the TWF 24/7 winnings on stake once again, because this time Jimmy Hart says he wants to take the TWF 24/7 winnings away from Xia Li. Joey Styles said, "We got that right." Jonathan Coachman said, "Xia Li is now in TNA now. And Xia Li is a TWF 24/7 fighter, and Jimmy Hart, the WWE LJN doll, not the WCW Toy Biz doll, which I don't know where he's at, somewhere in this room, I guess. He apparently thinks that he could be a TWF 24/7 fighter. The one thing Joey and Jonathan are leaving out here is how Jimmy Hart wanted to be Xia Li's overseer, and Xia Li wanted nothing to do with him and knocked him down. And after Xia Li beat Grayson Waller, then Jimmy Hart wanted to be put in the match. And somehow, someway, Jimmy Hart feels that he should be wrestling and fighting for the TWF 24/7 winnings, which I do not, understand why he thinks he should be fighting for it. Alright, but let's go to the ring now. We go to ring now, Joey Styles says. Alright, everyone. I, Xia Li. I'm now a TNA knockout. Because TNA still calls their women wrestlers knockouts. Why? Who knows? They've been calling them that for about 23 years. And yesterday on Dynamite or Mike, I beaten Grayson Waller and Jimmy Hart. Why do I want an overseer? When I was in WWE, starting from 2009 between FYL, to 2024 YL, I didn't have no overseer. When I was on NXT, I didn't have no overseer. Oh, if you're talking about Wendy Chu's self, she'd be my overseer? Yeah, but I didn't last that long. And when I went from NXT to SmackDown, I didn't have no overseer. When I went from SmackDown to Raw, I didn't have no overseer. So we all know that my time in WWE, I had no overseer, and my time in TNA, I have no overseer. So Jimmy Hart, what makes you think I need you as, how do you say, a overseer? Look, Jimmy Hart says, look, I understand Xia Li, but I have been an overseer for many wrestlers, not only in MACW, but in WWF, WCW, XWF, TNA, WWE. And I know, Jimmy Hart says, that I could be a good overseer for you. Oh, is that right? All the wrestlers you oversaw, Greg Valentine, Honky Tonk Man, Dino Bravo, Danny Davis, Bret Hart, Jim Neidhart, Earthquake, Typhoon, Ted DiBiase, Ernar Shyster, Raymond Rougeau, Jock Rougeau, the Mountie when he became the Mountie, right? Oh, Brian Knobbs, Jerry Sags, Hulk Hogan, Brutus Beefcake. Who else? Oh, Heath Slater. Tyson Kidd, Dustin Gabriel, huh? Who else do you say you were a good overseer to? Julie Martin and Coley Kai? Is that really all? You didn't really have too many folks that you say you were a good overseer to. So why would I want you to be overseer to, huh? How about all the folks you were the overseer of? Oh, I forgot you had Terry Funk and Dory Funk during Terry Funk's first run in WWF. You had King Kong Bundy until you gave him out to Bobby Heenan. Right? Oh, and what about all the folks you oversaw in WCW? Hulk Hogan, Big Van Vader, Sting, Randy Savage, Lex Luger, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Zeus, uh, the Loch Ness Monster, Kevin Sullivan, Hugh Morris, Kamala, the Zodiac. Who else? Braun, the Angry Small Man. Who else do you have? Ming, Haku, uh, whatever, Kevin Crichus, whatever. You didn't do very well. Look, Xylee, you know that I had made some mistakes with the folks that I oversaw in MCW, WWF, WCW, XWF, TNA, WWE, but you gotta know that I could be a good overseer for you. Now, what you need is you need someone who can make you look big. Because we all know, Xylee, you do very well with me. Is that right? Then I'm going to do great with you. I saw a fight, Lord. Oh! Xylee just knocked down Jimmy Hart. There was a fight keeper there, Joey Styles says. Yes, there was, Jonathan Coachman said. Jimmy Hart was lying to her. He wanted her to let her head down so he could take the TW 24/7 winnings from her. Well, Xylee isn't going to be so smoothly, lied to. And here we thought Jimmy Hart was talking business with Xylee. Joey Styles says. A sidekick and down goes Jimmy Hart again. Yeah, well, Jonathan Coachman said Jimmy Hart's always been good at running his mouth off his whole life, Jonathan Coachman said. Well, I guess so, Aiden English says. But Jimmy Hart in the day, he's no wrestler. And all he could do, he really couldn't do much. And he wants to win the TWF 24/7 winnings from Xylee. But I don't think today is going to be Jimmy Hart's day. And at 80, Jimmy Hart really shouldn't be getting beat up in the ring like he always had. And he also leaves out how he had Sheamus O'Shaughnessy and Drew McIntyre as his buyers as well when they were with Hulk Hogan one time for one of WWE's, Saga Night. Aiden English says, 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, and still the TWF 24/7 fighter, Xylee. Xylee has beat Jimmy Hart here today on Impact or Hit, and she is still the TWF 24/7 fighter by beating Jimmy Hart here, Joey Styles says. Yes, Jimmy Hart thought that he could make Xylee believe he only wanted to talk business, but the truth was he wanted her TWF 24/7 winnings, Jonathan Coachman says. Well, I can tell you a thing right now, Aiden English, that I don't know how Xylee will be, and the true how TNA will deal with Xylee. But we do know how she has been handled here in the TWF, and Jimmy Hart still has not been anyone to beat Xylee. So I don't think Jimmy Hart is going to be that man. Jimmy Hart may have been good at writing songs. He may have been a good on-show overseer to sundry wrestlers. But I don't think he was going to be man enough to win the TWF 24/7 winnings, Aiden English says. Well, speaking of that now, Joey Styles, they're going to take it away now to Mike Lane. Thank you, Joey Styles and Jonathan Coachman. I'm going to be talking with Jimmy Hart here today on Impact or Hit. Jimmy Hart, what made you think that you could fight Xylee for the TWF 24/7 winnings? Come on here, Mike Lane. You know me, I'm the mouth of the South. You know that I have been the overseer for sundry wrestlers, MACW, WWF, WCW, XWF, TNA, and WWE. Hell, I even wrestled many times for the TWF Hard Middle winnings. Hell, I even took the WCW hard middle winnings away from Finn Finley. Yeah, but that wasn't the true WCW heavyweight, the true WCW hard middle winnings strap, was it? No. Well, come on, I truly did want to be Xia Li's overseer. I truly did. And I also wanted to win the TWF 24/7 winnings, which has to be fought 24 hours and 24 spans a day. Well, if that's true, then Xia Li has been good at it because no one has beaten her. She only took one loss since she came to the TWF in the 11th month of last year. You know? So Jimmy Hart, I don't know if you'd be man enough to beat her. Sooner or later, Xia Li, you're going to lose. And you're going to wish you had Jimmy Hart with you when it happened. Well, that's my talk with Jimmy Hart. Back to you, Joey Styles and Jonathan Coachman. Thank you, Mike Lane, for talking with Xia Li here today. Thank you for talking with Jimmy Hart here today on Impact or Hit. And that's all the time we got here for Impact or Hit. Joey Styles, Jonathan Coachman, and Aiden English. We hope you like Impact or Hit. And we'll see you tomorrow for Friday Night SmackDown.